But I wanna thank you for coming to this show.
Yeah.
Um, I didn't give you a lot of context because it doesn't really need a lot of context. It's just the show is, as I think I told you, the name is called Por qué no los dos, because we do episodes in Spanish and English, and the idea is that we invite people that we have worked with, or friends, or people that we have stuff in common. And in your case, Brian Swindle, that you are a songwriter and a musician for, a solo artist, but also for the band Have Mercy. I know you might not love that I say this. You're one of my favorite songwriters, so I'm very happy to have you here. And also we have worked together in a couple of things. I have had the opportunity to make 3 videos so far for you guys, which has been pretty awesome. And I wanted to have you on the podcast because we have had that relationship for a while of talking about all sorts of stuff, and we wanted to have you here in the show and talk about a few other things.
Yeah, man. I'm really really glad it worked out. Thank you for having me. Yeah, thank you for all the work you've done for our band. It is you have came into our world at the perfect time when we had no other visual art direction, and you kind of took a hold of things and put your own spin on it. So thank you very much, man.
To start, I wanna give a little context on this, because the way that we connected was I have been a fan of you guys for many years, which is one of those interesting things of the internet, right? I was in Venezuela and I remember discovering you guys. It probably was with like the Audio Tree session or something around that time, 2013, 2012 or something, which like around that time Venezuela was like in a weird really hard spot, and music was one of those escapes that we had. And I discovered you guys, and for me, I said it, there was a record, I think it was A Place You Love.
Place of
It's,
our
it's
own.
the
But
Price of Our Own. Oh my
everybody
god,
always does that.
I'm a bad fan.
We have a song on the record called "The Place You Love," so it
Yeah,
makes sense.
exactly. So so I remember that was a record that it was a record that I heard a lot when I moved here, like on the trip itself. So I feel that was kind of my initial connection, and then internet years later, I remember I did like a little video thing. Well, I went to some shows. I went to a show you guys had in Cambridge years ago, and then I went to your farewell tour. I went here and I went to the show in New York, and it was all, I mean, it was sad in the context, but it was like awesome shows. And the pandemic hit after. It was that was like the timeline. And then, I reached out to you guys, or I made like a little video on Instagram, and you reached out to me and we started talking, and you told me, oh, we're coming back. This is kind of like on the DL, we're coming back, let's work together in a video. I think that was more or less our first.
That I think
So
you created. I think it was the first video we had like coming back. So that was very cool.
yeah, yeah. So, well, let's dig in on a few things. I don't want to talk about the beginning of the band. I don't want to talk. I want to talk more about where you guys at today, because we have talked, and in that we are now, in our both of our cases, we're married, we have like these lives, these situations that we're in, and that are very different to the context of, oh, I am a musician that is trying to, like, when you're younger and you're trying to do like these things and you like to drink, and for you, what has been that part of yourself that you had to figure it out when you guys came back,
Uh,
in the sense of how you felt like as a person before breaking, or like going on break, and then after?
I don't know. I mean, when we came back, like I kind of had to reapproach my whole like way of performing. One, like the all right, I'll give even more context if people don't know my background. But yeah, I like was a heavy drinker and other things for like the last, ooh, let's say from like 2009 to 2020. I was like just heavy into the party world, and Yeah, after the band had its little hiatus, well, during that hiatus, I had to get sober and get some help and kind of just clean my life up. Took a break from the band, got a good job, got married. Um, so yeah, like my idea of being in a band was always just the after party and being as fucked up as possible to enjoy. I don't know if I'm allowed to cuss on this, but I'm going to.
100%,
All
go for
right.
it.
Yeah, to be as fucked up as possible to enjoy the show. And I wasn't really in love with playing the music anymore or not doing it for the right reasons. And when we came back, I kind of just had to look at the band differently, find new reasons to play. Now we're in a position where get on a stage because I want to get on a stage. Like we're not chasing a dream. We're not doing it for the after party. We're doing it because we enjoy doing it now. Like there's no other reason. We don't need it. It's not like we don't rely on it financially. We're not going to sign a big time record deal. Like I know our band, but we're doing it because we enjoy it. So
I think you told me this, but did at some point were you guys like living off the band 100%, or you were like touring band and then come back home for like odd jobs?
so yeah, that was the first, maybe like the first 5 years of the band was kind of like we would go out on the road, make some money, come home, work our other jobs. Like I worked in a phone store for years, and then yeah, at one point it kind of carried us financially, and then it slowly like didn't. Whether that was poor financial decisions or was it like just we
After you
weren't.
bought the third Ferrari,
Yeah, yeah,
money
right.
started running out.
But yeah, I mean, it just didn't. Yeah, it didn't carry us anymore. Which may have been a good thing at the end of it, because we probably would have died if we like became rich and famous.
Yeah, I mean, that's I think that's a lot. That's usually the big question for a lot of bands, small, especially small bands. Is like, is money and fame gonna change them, or is it gonna ruin them? Have you read a book, Sellout?
No, no.
It's a book by this guy. I think he's from Vice or something. It's called Sellout. The author, I think is called Dan Oatsy or something like that. And the book covers 10 records, 10 bands, and pretty much the context of it. For example, Green Day, when they released Dookie, right? That was kind of like huge thing. Then they cover At the Drive-In, that it was
Oh,
in many
wow.
ways very, very, very avant-garde in their style, but it was a disaster for them. The Distillers, they cover like different cases, and some of them, there's like crossing the stories cross over, that they talked for about Thursday, and then they talk about how the singer of Thursday produced the first record of My Chemical Romance, and it's kind of like that stuff. But there's a lot of interesting things about that big kind of gap when people can handle the money or the fame, or their own demons, and how big they get once that. So it's a really cool book about, if you're a music geek.
Yeah, I got to check it out. I
Yeah, and
definitely
and
like felt that way, that we couldn't handle ourselves like after our second record. Like me personally, I like couldn't handle life. Um, but
but was it because you just kind of were too much into yourself, or was it just
maybe at
y-
one point in my younger years, but like I think it was like some more. A lot of it was just alcohol and drugs. Like that's what was carrying like my arrogance and thinking I was better than a lot of people, when I wasn't at all, and I
but
deserved nothing. So
listen, but I that being said, right? I think it's part of how that exists, right? There's like a lot of great bands that do a lot of great music, and the people are in those bands, and they go through a lot of stuff. And the good thing is that you guys, I mean, at least you, I don't have a lot of relationship with the other guys of the band, but at least you came to their side, realizing why you wanted to do it in the first place, which I think is a great transition about, you when you guys came back first, you did this EP that it was called Half Mercy. You said like self-named, and then you released your most recent record, Numb. So I want to talk about that record for a couple of reasons. Well, first, because it's the most recent one. Second, because we at La Hacienda produce a video for you guys. And third, I want to hear about that transition from you guys were signed for a label, then you did it independently, and then you decided to breach into this like new type of label, which is like where you guys at? Because like I don't know a ton of the context, which maybe you can give me more, but I think it's really interesting that they have all those environmental initiatives and all those things, and also that you guys signed for one album and then you were like, okay, and then we can decide what we want to do after.
Yeah, so previously we were with well, we started out on Top Shelf Records, released The Earth Pushed Back, and then we were with Hopeless Records for 3 albums. And we fulfilled that deal, and at the end of it, like there were little talks about them picking up me as a solo artist, but then that didn't pan out. I think it was, who knows why. But yeah, when the band came back, we were like, okay, we could either shop around and get a big budget from another label and, just sell this thing, or we could put our blood, sweat, and tears into everything we make. We can learn how to produce music, we can learn how to make it sound the way we want, and that's kind of the route we went.
Wait, I think something happened to your audio.
I don't even know what happened. Am I there?
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
No, I saw it
gotcha.
like go away. But yeah, we did the EP at a small apartment here in Baltimore, and then we gave that to friends of ours at a label called Zodiac Records, and then we decided to make the record Numb, and we basically just licensed that for 2 years. So we don't have a contract with Rude Records. We basically just kind of gave it to them and we're like, hey, can you handle this? Because we don't know what to do with it. And we knew we wanted it to have more exposure than our EP. So Rude is a great label. Yeah, they do a lot of charity work and a lot of environmental work. They care about their artists. So far so good. I love them.
They're an Italian label for what I have seen.
Yeah, I don't even know how they came across our radar. I didn't really follow them or anything, but yeah, they're based out of Milan, and they basically contacted us one day and asked if we were interested in like selling an old record of ours, and I was like, yeah, we'll do that, but we want to kind of release new music. Are you guys interested in that? And
I
they were in.
they did the re-release of The Earth Pushed Back. They did that, right?
Yeah. They basically bought it off Top Shelf Records. So,
Oh wow.
and
So
they own it now.
so for context, The Earth. Well, technically right now that we're recording this, the podcast can come out, but the idea is that we're gonna have a little information in the YouTube about you guys.
Cool.
But the Earth Pushback was your first record. That record is from 2013.
Yeah, 13.
You guys had you did a little tour, anniversary tour. You guys came to Boston. It was awesome. It was a huge show, the Somerville show. How many people? It's like 500 people. It's like a lot of people.
Yeah, that was a really big show. I forget. Was that Crystal Ballroom? That's the name of it? Crystal
Yes.
Ballroom? Yeah,
Mhm.
that place was awesome. I think it was like 500 people. That was definitely the biggest show of that tour. Um, yeah, man. Love that record. That show was really
I mean,
fun.
a lot of people love it. If you watch if I have videos from that night, people were so excited. It was such a exciting show. I was excited to show my wife when we went to see, because I was telling my wife, this is one of my favorite bands. She has seen the videos. She has seen me like working really hard on the videos, and I told her, yeah, when they were like splitting up, I went to like a couple shows. It was just, and that show was really awesome because people were excited to see you guys come back.
Yeah.
And I think that's that's the most exciting thing, I would say, of seeing that and working with you guys. That people are really excited to see you come back and to see you doing well, right? Because you don't want to see an artist that you like. Okay, they came back, but they are just kind of going through shit, and you
Yeah.
know, like you guys seem excited about where you guys at and how you're working about your music and your art.
Yeah, I think this is at this point in our career, like this is the most honest and healthy we've ever been. And to me, if that reflects in our music, then awesome. But I don't know, we're just enjoying it. Like this is a really good time for us.
So right now you are about to go on a headlining tour, right?
Couple
Starts.
shows, yeah.
Yeah, I saw you guys are playing New York, Connecticut, New Jersey,
Yeah.
and where else? And a hometown show or
We're
something
doing
like that.
Pittsburgh, Asbury Park, Baltimore, and New York City. So four shows, and then we have some dates later this year with the Spill Canvas. We have some stuff overseas planned. So we're getting out there as much as we can. Yeah.
But are you guys being more selective about the opportunities? I'm guessing, right? That comes with like the adulting
Yeah.
thing.
I mean, we're making sure that it like each run is around like five shows and that we can just go home afterwards. Because we all have real jobs now and we're trying. I mean, if shit really pops off for this band, we will go back and take this you know, try to ride the rocket to the moon. But right now we're just doing as much as we can without burning ourselves out.
That do you guys have plans to make more music?
Yeah.
Uh,
Dude, Rude actually just hit us up. I don't know when this is coming out, but I'll just say it because I don't care anymore. But we're doing a deluxe version of Numb, and we're gonna put some new songs on it and kind of give it another push out into the world. So Rude hit us up yesterday, and yeah, that's the plan.
um, do, I know you have talked about how much you like this record, but from the other records, which one is the one that you dislike the most?
I dislike the Love Life the most as a record.
Okay, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised, but I'm gonna tell you why. I
Go for it.
think I felt that was kind of you guys were like done. It felt like you were mentally checked out. It's not that it's a bad record because it's not. Like he has good songs, but it felt for me that you were going through the motions of whatever versus like doing the record that you guys wanted to do.
Yeah, I mean that experience wasn't enjoyable for me. Making the record, writing the record, the release of the record, like it was all miserable. There are some songs on there that I think are great, but as an album and as a like I don't know, a stamp of time, it like isn't a good reflection of who we are. So that's why I hate it. But you make mistakes and you got to live with them. So
That you um you had like a pop producer, or it was like a big time producer for that one, or it was it?
yeah, I'll call him big. I guess big time. Matt Squire produced the record, who we hadn't worked with before. We didn't have a lot of time with him. Like in total, maybe we spent like 2 weeks on the record. So
Hmm.
it just wasn't a good experience. We weren't prepared going in. We were rushed throughout the process, and yeah, I mean, we basically tried to polish a turd as much as possible.
The list. Um, I'm usually a contrarian, but I'm gonna say my favorite record is "Make the Best of It."
Yeah, I love that record. That took a long
It's
time.
I feel people like the Earth Pushback the most, or A Place of Our Own. A Place of Our Own, it I love it, but "Make the Best of It." They have so many good songs, so many good choruses, so many good
Oh
hooks. I
yeah.
feel
Yeah, we were we
that.
we really pumped out some bangers on that one. I love that record.
And can we talk a little bit about that record? That was 2017,
2017, yeah.
right? Wow, that was your third record, which I would say for a lot of bands is a really testing one.
Yeah.
What was it for you guys? Like a difficult moment,
It was
or
definitely it was a difficult record to write and record. We took, I think it was like 7 months to do that record. Um, yeah, we challenged ourselves. We worked with different songwriters. You know, it was a grueling process, but yeah, I don't know. I think that record turned out great.
that's the thing. It's a lot, but the songs are amazing. In the in that I don't know. I feel that it was an underestimated record in your catalog. I'm just gonna put that out there as a fan and as the host of this space. So,
Thanks.
just gonna put it out there and say that. So moving along to well, you guys have Numb, you guys have this new record. Are you thinking about doing any more solo songs in the meantime, every once in a while, or you feel that you did that, you tested out, and now Have Mercy came back to have like the main spot in what you're doing?
Yeah, it's weird. So I tried doing the solo stuff and it just didn't feel right. I couldn't really find my direction with it. And now, like everything I write, I think of it as a Have Mercy song. Like as I'm writing it, I'm like, oh, how will the drums sound? How would the bass go? Like, is this chord change like something Have Mercy would do? So I think naturally now I'm like in a Have Mercy writing mindset, but if I write something really cool that needs to be heard and doesn't fit Have Mercy sound, I'll probably release it under my name. I just like, I wish I had more time in the day to do like
Yeah.
solo stuff and then Have Mercy stuff and then the day job. And yeah, that's just
or
too
or
much.
or not have the day job to be
Uh,
able to do like songs all day.
yeah, sadly, you have to pay
And
bills.
oh man, yeah, exactly. So you gotta make more songs to make more videos so we can all pay more
I
bills.
know, dude.
That's the cycle of life we got going on here.
Yeah.
This is more like random. Have you ever had any connection or anything, or have you ever listened to like any sort of rock music in Spanish?
No.
I mean, besides all like the random shit that I have sent you.
No, I've listened to all the random stuff you've sent me, but I've never listened to like I've never voluntarily gone out of my way and listened to anything in Spanish. Besides from like hip
No, I
hop,
mean,
because like for some reason it's like I don't know, Bad Bunny and shit like that like really
oh,
hits,
I mean,
man. It's so good.
Bad,
But no,
Bad
no.
Bunny, the AKA the president of the world.
I would guess like
Uh,
as a kid, it like any At the Drive-In or Mars Volta stuff that was in
mm,
Spanish, like I just heard because I love those bands, but I didn't like wasn't something I
that
sought out.
it's no, and I asked this question because it's more about to understand that it's very common, this thing that you're telling me. A lot of people have heard Bad Bunny, a lot of other reggaeton artists, because it has gotten really mainstream in the past few years. And remember when Despacito came out,
Oh yeah.
Justin Bieber and all that stuff. But there's like so much that for me has been a big thing of moving here and seeing these like different cultures. And it's so funny because, and my point is that it's cool when a lot of things end up in ears that people would not expect, because it sometimes can cause really cool influences.
Yeah.
That's usually, but that was the point that I wanted to get. Sorry that I got all, but that's the thing. I send you the stuff because maybe it's like, listen, might be different to what American rock and roll music can sound.
Oh yeah.
It's like there's sounds, there are rhythms, there are different like rhythm patterns, and there's a lot of really good bands. And there's a band that I have sent you that are my friends from Seda, that they're in Florida, and they're scattered a little bit. Their process was very interesting because when they were back home, they were kind of like a mix of Norma Jean and Deftones,
Oh
if I had
jeez.
to like describe them in a way. And they sounded like that. It was just kind of something so shocking to see because they were so good, but they were so hard to digest for anybody that wasn't into like that type of music.
Yeah.
And then they did like amazing, but then when they moved here, they started getting into this influence of all like the like African Latin rhythms. Of there's so many. Even that I am from that area, there's like so many styles and patterns and rhythms and different instruments and percussive stuff. And when they started incorporating that, I feel that it's kind of, it was like that more underground version that what people feel when they listen to Bad Bunny.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like, oh, okay, this, you know, there's some flavor in it. There's something different.
Yeah.
Which I feel that's something that makes me really proud. Besides like the sad thing that is like we had to leave our countries, but it makes me really proud to see like that kind of stuff when people are like ambassadors of the culture, especially in the music, because music often is one of those traditions that can get lost in time if people don't preserve it.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah,
that band's way different than like Deftones and Norma Jean now. That's crazy.
I'm gonna send you the first record, and you're gonna see how they used to do these shows. Which here it was common to like shows in basements and in houses. In Venezuela, it was not common. We did one at my mom's house once. It was one of the wildest things. Like the neighbors still talk about it. It was just
Did your mom
so
allow
fucking
it?
wild. Oh yeah, my mom was so down.
Oh,
My mom like always allowed that kind of stuff, and they played. It was crazy. It was like 100 people in like our garage was like an outdoor garage, and they had this like we had to put like trash bags so people couldn't see inside.
Oh my god.
And there was like an opening band, and then they played. Yeah, it was wild.
That's
and
awesome.
and they would do it all over the country. They were like one of those few bands that, you know, we'll go play whatever. We'll just pack the car and go, because on one end they had the gear. Not a lot of bands had the gear, but they used that to their advantage of play and play and play and play. And I bring them as an example because here they do the same thing. Here they just play all the time, rehearse, and it's wild when you see a band that is just almost they're like telepathically connected. When they rehearse so much, they play so much. It's wild.
Do they all live here now?
They are scattered. Yeah, they are between Florida and North. The two main guys of the band are in between Florida and North Carolina, and I think the other ones are in Florida as well. But
Nice.
they have been two that have been in the band since the beginning. Those are the ones that I have met.
Nice.
But yeah, there are so many. Maybe one day I'll be the person that organizes the Have Mercy Venezuela tour.
That would be sick.
In a few years.
That would be very
That'll
cool.
be great. That'll be fun. That'll be, you know, that would be really fun. I think that maybe that could happen.
Yeah, we would do it.
Hopefully, let's cross our fingers. You guys have played in Europe, not you haven't done Mexico?
No, we've just done U.S., Europe, Canada, UK. That's it. Yeah.
Listen, many things can change.
I hope so, man.
You know,
I'd like to travel.
Maybe in a
bit
year.
more.
I think it could happen. I think it's time for you guys to go full international. We're saying it this podcast.
Yeah, put it out.
We're
into the
announcing
world.
it. We're manifesting it in this podcast. So to keep going with the conversation, to like, you know, I know I was late, so we still have a little bit of time. I want to cover a few other things. Are you producing other artists in your studio? Or are you trying to get into that soon?
Yeah, I'm dipping my toes into that world. I'm like working with friends of mine now, or anybody who just sends me tracks to have mixed, and kind of just doing it in my free time.
In the little free time,
Dude, yeah,
you might
I
have
little
available.
free time, but yeah, man, when if I have a day off in a month, I'm normally spending it working on friends' music. So I really like writing songs, and I want to help people write better songs. So kind of where my head's at.
Do you think you could eventually make a career or try to get into that as like the songwriting more than a...
I hope so. I mean, that would be cool if I could get into that world, but right now it's just like a hobby. I would like it to be a career. but now I don't. Right now, I don't charge anybody anything, so I'm never gonna make a dime.
Yeah. Yeah, we're
We
manifesting
are
things still.
manifesting, so yeah, I hope it becomes a career. I think I'm a really good songwriter. Like I'm a terrible guitar player. I'm terrible at being a person, but I think I'm a really good songwriter, and that I can help people with that. So I'd like to keep doing it.
That's a really great selling point. I
Hey,
think that I'm gonna cut. This is a clip.
use
This is
it.
gonna be
I
the
don't
clip
care.
to promote to the episode. I say this because, well, it's songwriting is probably one of the hardest things ever. And at least in the arts, there are a lot of other things in general that are harder. But and like as we have stated here, you write really great songs.
Thank you.
So now that and I mean, let me get back to the idea. I'm gonna have to edit this part a
Dude,
lot.
it's
But
all good.
no, it's more about, you say that you see it as a hobby, right? And there's usually this problem of people that do creative stuff that is that weird line of, do I want to keep this as a hobby or want to make money out of it? And sometimes how the money can ruin it.
Yeah, totally.
Do you see that? I mean, I can assume that when you guys took a break with the band, that there was just an element of that, of this is not fun anymore. What do you think you guys are going to do differently to navigate that better? Beyond, I mean, the change of habits in your life, but more about how you guys handle the band and the.
So I don't know. It's a good question. Well, now I think we're getting more opportunities. If we're just talking strictly like financials, off the band, we're doing better now than we probably have ever done, and we're making smarter decisions than we ever have. But I think we're mature enough now to handle it, and you know, we know how to take the opportunities that won't drain us over the ones that'll, make us bigger. Like, I think we're just making smarter decisions now. I don't know if that was your question, but I think,
No, but it's valid because it's you guys are handling it right now in the most responsible way. You're making decisions based on really how you feel and not about, hey, there's this random opportunity on the table that it might burn us out,
yeah,
but we might make some money out of it, but it's not worth the risk. Or if it's, that's
yeah.
usually what
I don't think anybody who's with or anyone who's in our camp right now and like in our band is in it for the money. Like we're doing it just because we like it. And it's not like even if they were in it for the money, like we're not making big bucks. Um I don't know, man. Like
I
I
mean,
could
I mean,
you
I bought a BMW with the
oh, I'm
video,
sure
the
you
money
did.
the money I made from the
The
video.
little money. Yeah, man, we just like doing it now. I mean, I don't know. I could go on these next 5 shows and make no money and be just as happy because I get to fulfill that part of me and get to live out like I don't know my dream. So
These are technically some of your biggest shows.
I hope so. I hope people are there.
Technically,
Technically,
in
yeah,
in paper.
yeah. Especially like the ones we did for the 10-year anniversary of the Earth Pushback. They were some of our biggest shows that we've ever headlined, and they were incredible, man. Yeah.
The cool thing about this tour that you guys are starting is that you're finally gonna be able to play some of the new songs.
Yeah.
And because that tour, the Earth Pushback, you play the record and a couple others,
Yeah.
but I feel that you haven't had the chance really to tour the new record that much yet.
Yeah, we have 16 songs on our set list. Uh and we'll probably add like one or two extra, but most of them are off the new record. Yeah. It's cool getting to play these songs and we haven't ever played them as a band. So it's been a challenge, but it's been fun, man. Like we're
When is the first date is tomorrow? No,
no, it's
or the couple days.
Wednesday. Yeah,
Wednesday,
it's Monday
Wednesday,
now for whoever the listener
Monday on
is.
this.
Yeah.
Nice. And Well, that's awesome that you guys are gonna have those shows.
Yeah, man.
Do you guys have anything planned for Massachusetts anytime soon?
No, not for the rest of the year, not yet. But I love it up there. We always have a good time. We have good shows. People are awesome. So I'm hoping that we get back up there. Uh, I'll
I
let you
mean,
know.
you guys gotta come with more time so we can take you to the sites, all the
Yeah,
sightseeing.
I haven't really gone
Oh,
sightseeing up there. I've done a lot of
me
drinking
neither,
in
honestly.
bars.
I've lived here for a long time, and I haven't done a lot of sightseeing either. I gotta say that.
Yeah,
But I mean, it depends when you come here. If you come in the summer, it's awesome. I gotta say, the summer here, it's awesome. There's like I don't know. It's just like it changes
yeah,
the city when you see it in the winter. That the winter can be pretty demoralizing.
yeah.
That's how I describe the winter for me these days. It's not about the cold. It's about the darkness.
Oh,
That that's it. That's
that's
my new
deep.
record. It's my new record. It's not about the cold. It's about the darkness. What are you listening to these days?
Good question. Let me look at my Spotify. Let me see what I've been listening to. I listen to this band Truesdale a lot. They're awesome. The new Microwave is super good.
I heard a couple of songs of that. That's
It,
really yeah, it was really good.
yeah, I've been listening to Goo Goo Dolls, Maggie Rogers. Yeah, it's like all over the place. I listen to a ton of different stuff.
As you should.
Yeah.
I love when people are usually you ask them what kind of music you listen to. Oh, I listen to everything, and you really put something out of the fold for them, and they don't listen to it.
Yeah.
I pride myself that I can really listen to anything that you put. I'm not gonna. There's a lot of shit that I don't like, but if you put I don't know black metal, I'll listen to it. If you put reggaeton, I'll listen to it. I don't have an issue. But that's something that I have thought a lot about lately about when people say that. "Oh, I listen to everything," and then they don't really listen to
Yeah, maybe I
everything.
don't listen to everything, but I listen to I listen to some
By the way, and
eclectic stuff.
I wasn't throwing shade. I was just
No,
kind of
no.
just saying as an
You
idea.
have me being like being
We're like, oh
retrospective now.
no.
I'm like, maybe I don't listen to everything. But yeah, I
It's just like there's so much music out there too. So what is technically everything?
yeah. I mean,
That's see another deep question
there's a lot
in
of terrible
this.
music, there's a lot of good music.
There's a lot of good music. I I've been listening to Darkest Hour
Oh, really?
a lot. Their new record is wild.
Damn, I haven't heard that name in a
Really,
while.
they are just kind of they came back. It's stronger than ever.
I thought you were going to say The
It's
Darkness, that you've been listening to
yeah.
The Darkness.
Yeah, exactly. And like the cover is one of those covers that has like monsters and stuff, and
Yeah.
it's like one of those classic metalcore records from a band from like the early 2000s. Just what you expect. I transported me to a different time. That's kind of what I was when I was listening to it,
That's awesome.
because I feel there's like a current sound of those bands,
Yeah.
and that sounded more like 2008, but more polished. Because usually those records from that back then they sound really bad, but the songs are really good.
I know. Isn't that crazy? There were so many songs that I listened to like from back then that were horrible, man. Like they sound sonically just like trash.
There's a lot of them that sound very kind of they don't sound as powerful as they sound in real life.
Yeah.
Like the mixes are very kind of weak. I feel that happens a lot with like a lot of bands from that time. I
Yeah.
saw Botch and
Oh,
Converge a
jeez.
couple months ago. I mean, that was incredible. But I was listening to these also are records from the 90s and they're so technology. But you listen to the record and it's good. But then you listen to it live and it's just, you feel that you're on a train that it's running without brakes, all speed ahead. It's just sonically insane.
Oh yeah.
And then you listen to the record and it's just like, oh, okay, no, this different experience. So that's something that I love a lot of those records. But I wish the quality was a little better.
Yeah. I mean, you
So
can't
yeah,
feel
but that
the energy doesn't translate that well from live to the record.
So what was another one that I was listening? Well, I've been listening to a lot of Queens of the Stone Age
Oh
for
yeah,
like
you
the
do love
past
Queens of the Stone
year.
Age.
Man, just like for the past year, it's just been. And I have listened to a lot of. Have you heard 68?
I know who 68 is. I can't tell you that I know a lot of their stuff.
They're like interesting. It's like there's two guys, and they. I have seen them live a few times, and I saw them opening for Thrice once. I saw them playing with Seda, and it's two guys, and it's so loud.
Oh,
It's
I'm
like
sure.
crazy how loud it is.
Doesn't he have
And
like full stacks all around him and stuff?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and he loops stuff. It's just pretty wild how two guys can be so loud. And their new record is cool. It's just weird. It's like a weird vibe, but it's really cool. It has like a lot of swagger. I feel that's what like their music has.
Okay.
It has like a lot of swagger that it can be in, like a motorcycle commercial or something. If the people that pick the music for those commercials had good
Oh
taste.
my god. I gotta check it out.
Wow, throwing shade to the people that pick music.
Oh.
So well, to start wrapping this up, first I want to thank you for coming to the show.
Yeah, man.
Really appreciate it, man. Like I said, you guys have done so much music that it's just been with me for a long time, and we have been working together for a long time. I hope we keep doing that.
No doubt.
So what's something that you're looking forward for the rest of the year? What's like with the band and with your life? Just kind of.
I'm looking forward to we're working on a UK tour, so I'm looking forward to doing that. I'm looking forward to hopefully buying a house one of these days. That's a personal goal. Yeah, dude. That shit gets real as you get older. I'm like, I
Yeah.
turned 34 in a couple weeks. I'm looking forward to that.
What are you gonna do?
Hopefully sleep. I'm
Oh
exhausted,
man,
man.
I
I
mean,
want to take a break.
and that's gonna be post tour, so it's like perfect. You
Yeah.
have like the perfect excuse of I'm just gonna lock myself in my house.
Yeah, but
And
now we're gonna start working on the deluxe edition of Numb. So we're gonna
also,
be
because you guys are gonna be making like new songs for that.
Yeah, we have a couple new songs written and we're gonna record them and then drop them on the deluxe edition of Numb. So I'll
Nice.
send them to you once they're ready.
Oof. I'm excited. I'm
Yeah.
excited. No, every time that you send me this stuff, I'm lucky enough that every once in a while I get to listen to some stuff before, and man, it's exciting. It's very exciting for me. I love music, and that's always been my thing. It's been my way to connect with people, especially after I left Venezuela. For me, that was kind of been for me one of the things, because I have said it in other interviews that I've done here, but I disconnected from entertainment in general from back home. Just kind of I was going through stuff. And so my relationship with the place wasn't, I didn't want to kind of listen to the accent. I didn't want to and music was the only space that for me was kind of sacred in that sense, that I could still listen to bands from back home. And ultimately music has been the thing that has taken me to like so many weird places and to meet so many weird people. So which is this case. So I'm excited. I'm happy that we got to connect.
Yeah, man.
Um,
Music is the best language there is. It speaks to everybody. It's awesome.
So next time maybe we'll be organizing the Venezuela tour.
I hope so.
Perhaps.
That'd be awesome.
I mean, that would be so strange if I feel that would be one of those moments that I say that the simulation got weird. That's usually when I'm like, this is a little too strange, but maybe it could happen. We're manifesting multiple things in this podcast.
Hey, if there's a fan base there, we will go. Why not?
I'll start building it.
Hell yeah.
Start building it. Family, friends, and family. Awesome, man. Thank you so much for coming. Really.
Anytime, man.
We'll stay in touch. You'll come back another time, and we'll keep talking once there's more music out and more new things, and and probably soon we'll collaborate again in other things. So,
Totally.
you know, and thank you to the 2.5 people that are gonna listen and watch this, maybe maybe not.
three.
Who knows? Maybe 3. Manifestation.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming and
Anytime,
listening
man.
and watching.
Anytime.
That was for the. I already say thank you to you. You know.
Yeah.